How far would you go to protect someone you love? Not just to help them, not just to stand by them, but to actively step into danger, knowing full well it could come back on you? That's the question driving the May 6th episode of General Hospital as Laura makes a bold, defining move to shield someone close to her. And in Port Charles, choices like that don't stay contained. They spread, they escalate, and they always come with consequences. General Hospital spoilers. May 6th, Laura protects a loved one. In the layered, ever-evolving world of General Hospital, few themes carry as much emotional weight as protection. Characters don't simply react to danger, they anticipate it, confront it, and sometimes even step into it willingly to shield the people they care about most. On May 6th, Laura stands at the center of such a moment. Her decision to protect a loved one is not just a reaction, it is a deliberate act that reshapes the emotional and strategic landscape of Port Charles. It signals urgency, it signals risk, and perhaps most importantly, it signals that something larger is at play beneath the surface, because Laura does not act without reason. And when she does act, the consequences are rarely small. Laura, a character built on strength and loyalty. To fully understand the significance of this storyline, it's essential to understand who Laura is within the fabric of Port Charles. Laura Spencer is not defined by impulsive choices. She is a character grounded in experience, someone who has faced conflict, navigated crisis, and emerged with a clear sense of responsibility. Her defining traits include emotional intelligence, strong moral judgment, deep loyalty to family and allies, a willingness to act when necessary. These qualities make her both reliable and formidable. So when Laura decides to protect someone, it is not a fleeting reaction. It is a commitment. The catalyst. A threat that cannot be ignored. The May 6 spoilers revolve around a simple premise. Someone Laura cares about is in danger, but in General Hospital. Danger is never simple. It is layered, it is often indirect, and it rarely presents itself clearly. The ambiguity surrounding the identity of the loved one adds to the tension. It invites speculation. Is it a family member? A longtime ally? Someone newly drawn into conflict? Regardless of who it is, the key element is Laura's perception of the threat, because perception drives action. And Laura perceives this situation as serious enough to require immediate intervention. Protection as a defining act. Protection in this context is not passive. It is not about standing nearby or offering emotional support. It is active. It involves making decisions that could alter outcomes, taking risks that could lead to consequences, engaging directly with the source of danger. This transforms the storyline from a reactive situation into a proactive one. Laura is not waiting for events to unfold. She is shaping them. The emotional core. Love as motivation. At the heart of Laura's decision lies a simple but powerful force. Love. Love in General Hospital is rarely uncomplicated. It is tied to history, loyalty, and sometimes even conflict. But it remains one of the strongest motivators for action. Laura's love for the person she is protecting is what drives her forward. It overrides hesitation. It silences doubt. And it justifies risk. But emotional decisions, while powerful, are not always aligned with strategic outcomes. And that is where tension begins to build. The immediate shift in dynamics. The moment Laura acts, the narrative shifts. Before her intervention, the situation exists in a state of tension. After her intervention, it moves into active conflict. This shift affects multiple layers of the story. The person being protected gains temporary security. The source of the threat becomes more aware. Other characters begin to react to Laura's involvement. In other words, Laura's action becomes the catalyst for escalation. The risk factor. What Laura stands to lose. Protection is never without cost. For Laura, those costs could manifest in several ways. One, personal consequences. Her actions may put her at risk, emotionally, socially, or even physically. 2. Relationship strain. Others may not agree with her decision, leading to tension or conflict. 3. Unintended fallout. Protecting one person could inadvertently create problems elsewhere. These risks do not deter Laura, but they do raise the stakes. The moral complexity of protection. One of the most compelling aspects of this storyline is its moral ambiguity. Protecting someone sounds inherently positive, but in a complex environment like Port Charles, it often involves in difficult choices. Withholding information, prioritizing one person over others, making decisions that may not benefit everyone. These choices place Laura in a morally gray space. She is doing what she believes is right, but that does not guarantee that others will see it the same way. The ripple effect across Port Charles. No action in General Hospital exists in isolation. Laura's decision begins to ripple outward almost immediately. Other characters become involved, directly or indirectly. They may question her motives, support her actions, or challenge her decisions. This ripple effect transforms a personal act into a community-wide issue, because in Port Charles, everything is connected. The strength of leadership under pressure. Laura's role in this storyline is not just personal, it is also symbolic. She represents stability, leadership, guidance. So when she takes a stand, it influences how others respond. Her strength under pressure reinforces her position as a central figure, but it also places additional weight on her decisions, because leadership amplifies consequences. The unknown, consequences still unfolding. Perhaps the most powerful element of this storyline is uncertainty. Laura does not know exactly what will happen next. She cannot predict every outcome, and that unpredictability creates tension, because it leaves both the characters and the audience in a state of anticipation. Themes driving the storyline. Several key themes underpin this arc. Love versus logic. Laura's actions are driven by emotion, even when logic might suggest caution. Responsibility versus risk. She feels responsible for protecting someone, but that responsibility comes with potential consequences. Action versus reaction. By acting first, Laura shifts the narrative from passive tension to active conflict. Why? This storyline resonates. This storyline resonates because it taps into universal experiences. The instinct to protect loved ones, the complexity of making difficult decisions, the uncertainty of outcomes. These themes make the narrative relatable, even within its dramatic context. The path forward. What comes next? As the May 6th episode unfolds, several possibilities emerge. The threat may escalate, new information may come to light, relationships may be tested. Laura's decision sets all of these possibilities in motion, and how they unfold will define the next phase of the story. Final thoughts. Laura's decision to protect a loved one in General Hospital is more than a single moment. It is a turning point, a declaration of loyalty, a catalyst for change. It highlights her strength, her values, and her willingness to act when it matters most. But in Port Charles, even the most well-intentioned actions come with consequences. And as this storyline continues, those consequences will shape everything that follows. Because protection is never just about saving someone in the moment. It's about what happens after the choice is made. And for Laura, that story is only just beginning.